When it comes to Web3 jobs and landing jobs in the Web3 space, a lot of things have changed. The strategies that used to work before might no longer be working again, and the way you used to send pitches before that have gotten you jobs might no longer get you that same job again. Nevertheless, there are some things that would never change. This is a necessary step that you need to take even before you start your job hunting. And I'm not talking about your resume or your portfolio here. So stay with me and I'll explain what I mean after the intro. This has always blown my mind, but 75% of you who watch my videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. Look, it doesn't hurt to hit on the subscribe button. Try it right now and see. Have you done that? Alright, let's move back to the video. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there are some things and steps that do not change as long as job hunting in the Web3 space is concerned. And this is what top businesses and agencies use to filter the kind of people or projects they work with. Because top businesses don't work with all projects. They have a way to filter the kind of projects they accept and work with. And this allows them to be able to charge higher than normal. Now, I want you to understand that this isn't just about finding a job, but it's about finding the right job with the right project. And if you're of the opinion that let me just get a job, you realize that you end up spending months and weeks without getting jobs. So it's important that you take this very serious. Even if it means taking the whole week to get this right, it would really help you in knowing the kind of projects and people that will respond to you. So to get this crucial step right, we'll be using a framework I've developed that I acronymed FFWA. It stands for fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations. So these are the things you need to find out first of all before you start reaching out to founders of Web3 projects. If you don't find these things out, you will just go to CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, or Twitter and you'd be lost on which kind of project you should be going for. Now, here's an example of an ICP that I created for a graphic designer. Now, this is a rough example because I don't want you guys to now take this and be running with it. This is a rough example for this illustration that I want to make. So don't take this and then start outreaching for projects. This is just for a rough example. Now, if you look at the funding and stability row, you would see that I put from seed to series C. This indicates that okay, these projects, they have raised some funds, so they have the revenue to be able to pay a graphic designer. And projects that are in that category, they actually pay more attention to branding as a graphic designer. So the graphic designer has more opportunity in those kind of projects rather than going for meme projects. Now, you can still create an ICP for a meme project, but then you'd have to tailor it. You have to sit down and look for the perfect kind of candidate or the perfect kind of project that you'd reach out to. You craft an ICP just like this one, but it will be tailored to main project. How can you serve them better instead of just focusing on branding? For projects that are big, such as projects that have raised seed funding or series C funding, those kind of projects would pay more attention to branding, and so you'd have more opportunity in those kind of projects as a graphic designer. Unlike for main projects where you'd want to pitch branding to them, they won't listen to you because that's not a priority to them. Now, for those main projects, you can find some other priority as a graphic designer where you can provide solutions to. But when it comes to the area of branding for main projects, you might find it difficult finding any positive responses from them. Now, apart from the funding and stability, you also have industry verticals and target company. So for that industry verticals, you can decide to pick an aspect, a particular vertical, maybe DeFi, maybe a DeFi marketplace, and then try to look for a pain point that you can serve and focus on that for some period of time before moving to other verticals. That kind of focus will allow you to get niche pain points that you can address and provide solutions to. So you can really take your time to identify these different pain points of these different verticals and create different profiles of how you want to reach out to projects in those different verticals. The same goes for the target project types. Are you trying to reach out to startups or mid projects or full-blown projects? So you just have to map out the kind of project you want to reach out to, and then set a roadmap for your plan. Now, I don't want to bore you with the whole process of crafting this, because I've explained a very simple way to be able to craft this using AI in the pitch right guide. But the reason why this is important is because it allows you frame your offer in a very convincing manner. For example, as a marketer, you don't just go to project and tell them you want to market for them or you want to be their marketer. They will ignore you. Rather, if you've created your project profile, it will be easy for you to map your offer and tailor it to a particular pain point that is consistent with that profile you've created. So as a marketer now, instead of going to a project and telling them you want to be a marketer for them, you can pitch to them by telling them you will help them boost user adoption by 20% in 3 months time. Now, that is very more specific than just telling them you want to be a marketer for them. You're not telling them what you really want to achieve for them. But once you get the customer or project profile intact, it will be easy for you to understand the pain points that most of those projects that fall in that category encounter. And so you reach out to them with a very, very good offer. Now, if you need to watch this video over and over again, do so to be able to grasp the insights that I've shared here. And if you want to create your project profile faster and quickly without having to go through that stress, I've dropped everything inside the pitch right guide. So you can check the description of this video to get the pitch right guide. Now, one of my students secured 2 gigs, both worth $1,500. using this same strategy. What he did was to look at the project and research the project very well to find out area where they are lacking improvements, and then he provided solutions to those areas and presented it to them as a pitch. The result of this is that he was able to present a pitch that is different from what anybody would have thought of or presented to the same project. So it makes your pitch just personal to you alone and not something that the dev would have heard somewhere else before. And then it gives you higher chance of landing paid jobs and even higher jobs than what any other individual who is doing the same role as you would have been able to land. Once again, this whole thing is what I've explained in depth in the pitch right guide, so click on the link in the description to check it out.